6. Action Plan and Reporting. We will publish a 3-year Equity, Diversity and Belonging Action Plan, detailing the steps we will take towards realising our vision by the end of January 2024. We will also publish an annual impact report on our progress and provide regular updates on our EDB-related activities in our communications. These are some examples of the actions we are committed to over the 3 years of the strategy. EDB Strategic Priority, Accountability and Commitment. For the EDB Strategic Aim, RCOT will, through our actions, oppose discrimination, demonstrate effective allyship, and be transparent and accountable. The action examples are: establish a support framework for staff who have experienced discrimination and harassment. A member of RCOT's senior leadership team will sponsor each of the staff diversity networks to promote allyship and improve leadership visibility. For the EDB Strategic Aim, RCOT will demonstrate to the public, our staff, members, volunteers, learners and stakeholders that EDB is part of who we are and how we work. The action example is: we will embed EDB principles in our workforce strategy. EDB Strategic Priority, Effective Leadership. For the EDB Strategic Aim, RCOT will model the change we want to see through our culture, policies, practices and systems. The action examples are: review our policies and processes and introduce a standardised process to ensure EDB sits at the heart of everything we do. Benchmark, identify, adapt and adopt good EDB practices in healthcare organisations and other professions across industries. For the EDB Strategic Aim, RCOT will cultivate an inclusive culture with health and well-being at its heart to reflect our organisational and professional values. The action example is: create a health and well-being strategy and action plan using insights from our health and well-being staff survey. EDB Strategic Priority, Diverse and Thriving Profession. For the EDB Strategic Aim, RCOT will work to ensure that our staff and volunteers better reflect the diversity of the UK and the communities they serve. The action example is: analyse our staff and volunteer diversity data to identify gaps and underrepresentation and develop an action plan to address them. For the EDB Strategic Aim, RCOT will embed EDB throughout our standards and stakeholder relationships. The action example is: embed EDB strategy principles to inform our pre-registration and early career standards. For the EDB Strategic Aim, RCOT will build alliances and partnerships with community groups to encourage those from historically underserved communities to see occupational therapy as a solution to their needs. The action example is: identify underserved communities our volunteers are working with and work with our volunteers to explore barriers and identify how RCOT can support in addressing these. EDB Strategic Priority, Learning, Development and Confidence. For the EDB Strategic Aim, RCOT will build our members, staff and volunteers' understanding of equity, diversity and belonging and develop skills and confidence to actively oppose discrimination. The action examples are: carry out a learning needs analysis to identify current levels of EDB awareness among staff including senior leadership. Develop a discrimination, allyship and advocacy toolkit for members, volunteers and staff. For the EDB strategic aim, RCOT will build alliances and partnerships with organisations and groups that share our priorities to support learning and increase EDB awareness of occupational therapists. The action example is identify health and social care bodies that share similar EDB priorities and work to form collaborative partnerships to share resources and expertise. EDB strategic priority, safe and inclusive culture. For the EDB strategic aim, RCOT will increase representation and celebrate diversity and in everything we do and how we communicate. The action example is proactively work to increase the numbers of our public contributors from diverse and underrepresented groups to best support our work. For the EDB strategic aim, RCOT will assist our members, especially those from historically marginalised and underrepresented communities, to be the best they can be as their true and authentic selves throughout their career. The action example is set up quarterly EDB meetings to share good practice among members, demonstrate allyship, and offer peer-to-peer support. EDB strategy priority, transparency. For the EDB strategic aim, RCOT will share and celebrate successes and be honest about failings and things we need to change. The action examples are extensively share this strategy, its purpose, actions and accountabilities amongst members, staff and stakeholders. Promote and share updates on the delivery of EDB work to all members and stakeholders. For the EDB strategic aim, RCOT will understand the diverse needs of those we work with and use a strong evidence base to provide constructive support, prioritise where and how we act, and measure our progress. The action example is redesign our process for capturing diversity characteristics so that we can collect baseline data and monitor diversity within our membership.